I'm gonna stay right here on the public sidewalk. We're in front of this place of death.
All right, yeah, that's fine, and you can freedom of speech and all that, but all these people in these homes that are trying to sleep, and you're blasting them with your microphone this morning,
because children are being murdered.
Well, yeah, that's great, and
that's not great.
You can turn it down.
I can, but
you have all these people that are trying to sleep that have nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
that you are also disturbing.
Okay.
Okay.
So did you get a complaint or something?
That's why we're here again, like we are every week. All right. So if you can turn it down a little bit, that'd be great.
So what will happen if I don't turn it down?
Well, we can give you a ticket, and you can go to court, and you can say freedom of speech, and we can waste people's time going to court doing that.
So I can just continue.
All right. And
do you need a permit to use a megaphone?
So.
People use megaphones at State Fair?
But
yeah, they give permits for that.
Yeah, I see.
Well, I'm on public sidewalk. I don't need a permit.
You guys can do what you want out here. Everyone has the right to do what they want.
I'm doing it.
All these other people that have nothing to do with this building that are being disturbed right now, I mean, shouldn't they have some kind of privacy and some? If they want to sleep in on a Saturday morning and not get disturbed by you
children being butchered to death in here. People don't have a right to. They don't have a right not to be disturbed when children are being butchered to death in this place.
So you're taking everyone else's rights away too.
Well, I'm saying we need to wake up, stop sleeping, and rescue these children from being slaughtered. That's what I'm saying. And you as an officer,
everyone doesn't have the same passion about that as you do.
Children being butchered to death. It doesn't matter. This isn't about passion. It's about children being butchered to death. And you as an officer have a duty before God to go in there and arrest these murderers, to arrest the serial killer in here who's butchering children, who's doing this to children, as you see on these signs. And you know this is going on, and you're doing nothing about it. You're protecting these murderers.
I'm not protecting anybody.
You are.
No, I'm not.
You as an officer of the law have a duty to protect these children who are being butchered to death, and you're not doing that. These children need you to stand in the gap. They need you to obey God and arrest the serial killer in here who's murdering children, not to try and silence someone just because other people are disturbed by it.
I didn't say I was silencing anyone. I'm just asking you to turn it down a little bit because you're disturbing all these other people that have nothing to do with today.
Oh, they are. They're tolerating it. They're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And you as an officer, you can't do something. I encourage you to defy the Supreme Court over this matter, because this is not the law of the land. These children need your interposition. They need you to stand in the gap for them as an officer of the law.
Okay.
They need your help.
Talk over here, please. Using the bullhorn. Can we talk over here, please?
We stand right here.
Or fine, if you want to stay. We just was wondering how long you guys are going to be out here for.
I don't know.
Okay. And the other thing is, no one's impeding on your First Amendment rights, but did you have a permit for that bullhorn?
No, don't need one.
Okay. For a residential area, as I believe that's what we've been looking up. We just haven't been sitting there and listening to everything. We've actually been looking things up and talking to supervisors. As far as we know, because of his residential area, I know it's a business that you're protesting, but it's also a residential area. Certain areas like the State Fairgrounds, Summerfest grounds, I don't think they're as implied to use a permit, but over here I believe you do need a permit for a bullhorn or an amplified device as it is.
Plus, anything over 50 feet, and we're well over 50 feet away, and it's still loud over by our squad cars. And you have a building that's less than that, you have residents over here, over there, and you can sit out here and you can protest all you want.
Yeah, you were doing everything
verbally
correct.
saying it, but if you're going to use that machine,
you weren't impeding the business, which is good. That's not what you did. Everything correct like that. You can voice your concerns when people are walking by. However, the device, if you don't have a permit, that's where we're kind of falling in an issue. Now, what we suggest is that you don't use the bullhorn, because then it's going to fall in getting an inventory and get a proper receipt. Probably have to get that back because you don't have a permit, or unless you do, and you can show the paperwork for me.
So you have an ordinance against using amplification.
Amplification in a residential area that's over the
80-64, 65, and 66. And it falls under the nuisance 8010.
Nuisance.
What's that again? 80-60.
64, 80-65, 80-66. And it's under the 8010 nuisance
because if
statute.
it's a mixed area, it's a residential area. Like I said,
it doesn't really even matter if it's a residential area. Any noise produced at any time of the day that can be heard by greater than 50 feet away is a nuisance violation for noise. Any time of day.
So that's anyone on public sidewalk?
Public sidewalk too, yeah. And that's why I said such places as I said the State Fairgrounds and the Summerfest grounds where it's already kind of a concert. They're more relaxed over here, but we're having
dealing with this right
complaints.
now.
That's where we're trying to
deal
with that. Like,
so
no one's impeding on your First Amendment rights, but if you don't have a permit on that one, that's where we're kind of running into a violation.
traffic noise.
Well, is it permit
That's
free or
different
does it
than
cost
something
money?
that's being produced
That I
by
couldn't
someone.
tell you. You'd have to go Raleigh City Hall,
Right.
pull that stuff. I
Also,
couldn't
I'm
tell you
just trying
exact
to
price
get
for a permit.
into
But
that building.
I believe that
with
you
my
can.
voice. Well,
You can't
Well,
get
then
that.
you're going to have to amplify your voice through your body to do it. But if you're going to use a machine that is causing noise to be heard by a distance greater than 50 feet, then it's a violation.
Well, so
We're
I
not
know,
taking any rights away from you to protest this or anything like that, but the machine that you're using to do it is a violation of the city ordinance, where the people in that building have the expectation that they have the privacy of quietness and that they can sleep in if they want, and they're being disturbed because you're going through a bullhorn at this building. All right?
so what
So
if-
you have rights, but they also have rights, okay? And your rights don't trump their rights.
and their rights don't trump the rights of these children being butchered to death.
Okay, I understand that,
And
but
we're
like
not,
we said,
we're not talking
we're not
about
saying
Well,
that.
we need
You-
to be because that's why we're out here. These
Okay,
children being
well,
butchered
sir,
to death.
No one said you can't be out here protesting. It's just the amplified devices, which is kind of like causing the issues.
So if we turn it down, would that?
No, it's not down. It's probably better off because didn't you tell the other officer before I arrived that you would turn it down? And I'm still hearing you clear as day when I've been there for the 15 minutes. I'm still hearing you pretty loud.
I turned it off when he left, and he was using
He
it.
didn't left. He was over there. I arrived.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well,
Yeah.
when he went over there, I turned it off.
and then you turned it back on.
Because they
No,
were still.
I didn't use it.
Well,
after you
someone
left.
else is using it because we can still hear it. All right.
Yeah.
okay. Well, he and I have been the only ones.
All right.
Okay.
Do you have a permit for it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
Then we're not going to be able to use it today. You're going to have to go down to the courthouse or wherever and get a permit if you want to use these in the future.
So you're saying that like it's not. So if I turn it down, I
If it can be heard for greater than 50 feet away,
50 feet away, basically.
all
That's
right,
that's
that's
the
pretty
main
much
concern.
across the street, and from curb to curb. All right, or for actually from door to curb, wherever you're standing. If it's greater than 50 feet away, then you can be issued a citation for it. All right, I asked you nice once. We're asking you nice the second time. All right. If we get any more complaints, then we're gonna have to issue a citation and confiscate them. Then you're gonna have to go and go to property
You have to
and
confiscate
do a
them.
receipt and pick them up and all that stuff.
have
And
to
we don't want to do that.
No, you don't have
okay?
to.
All right, we're not saying anything about your right to protest or anything, but you just have to, you know, other people live in this area besides
It's a little,
just
like I
the
said, because
business.
of the mixed use area with the residential, the businesses, it's a little different. As I like Summerfest, there's not really an issue.
And
because it's a
they get
concert.
permits.
It's loud.
When Brady Street has their parties, they have to get a permit for it. All right, because it's going to be loud down there, and you have residents down there.
And it's usually done through the city hall, but I'm not sure what section. On 2000 East Wells. That's where the permits and stuff like such as that. Okay. Any other questions or anything?
Well, like how'd you know? Like it. Say you're saying 50 feet, like across the street. Like, could you use an amplification then at all?
Well, you could do this. You turn yours on. You go across the street. If you can hear it over there, it's
Well, what if you
50
can hear it,
feet.
but it's not like loud enough to really bother you?
all it says, as long as you can hear it at a distance greater than 50 feet. All right. And if
So-
that's,
so- and that's
because
just-
even like you hearing them. All right. Is that super loud? No, but you can still hear it.
So is that just amplification? Apply to
Any kind of
amplification,
music,
or your
kind of a radio, machinery.
but your natural voice does not apply to that, right?
No.
Okay.
But
Just
if you
any-
guys start screaming and using vulgar language and stuff,
which we're
well,
not
then
going to do
that's a
because we're
different story.
Christians.
My own voice box is okay if I just happen to be a loud individual. That's
And if you want to scream,
well, I don't scream. I like to preach the word in love. I mean, one of your brothers who gave his life this past summer, Mike Maholsky, was a near and dear friend of mine, and he would love that we're standing here sharing the truth, and my voice projects enough that I don't need a megaphone to do that.
Sure.
Well, that
I'm
honors
sure-
the Lord. But if these guys don't have the voice to do that, they should be able to have enough that people can hear the truth.
And
in
they
love.
can, but that's why we said there has to be a permit if they're going to use an amplified device.
Over 50 feet distance.
All right. Well,
I don't know if having a permit is going to exclude the 50 feet, but
Oh,
the
thank
thing
you.
is otherwise you could have everyone just blasting everything up and down the street.
That guy
And
plays music. Over one of them.
And it's also a nightclub that has to get permits to be able to do that.
Okay.
I mean,
That's like I said.
we're-
No one's got a problem with you doing your thing, but it's the amplified device.
Obviously they do.
Well,
obviously they do.
They're right to certain privacy, and like I said, it is if it was out the state fair grounds or something like the Summerfest grounds where it's going concerts, they're more lax because there's not really residential area people to complain.
But they also have to get permits for those.
Okay.
So, as I said, something you want to look into the future if you're going to use those devices. Okay?
Well, allow me to share with you something called the doctrine of the lesser magistrates, where when a higher authority makes an opinion, a law, or a decree, it's the duty of the lesser magistrate, the lower ranking magistrate, to defy that to defy that law.
Well, if you want to defy it, we can issue citations, give you your property receipt. You can come pick them up tomorrow.
No, I'm just explaining to your duty before God.
Sure.
That and this deals with right here with
my
what
beliefs, because I'm at work, did not impede what I'm doing as a professional police officer.
Well, it does.
I'm ordering. Listen, I'm not here to have a debate with you.
I'm not
coming
either.
straight to the cheese. Don't use your amplified devices. Okay, you don't have permits for them, and this is the second time that now I'm coming with Officer Klein and advising you of that. Okay. There will not be a third time. The third time will be citations, and that will be with your property receipts. And I don't want to do that. That's the last thing I do. Okay.
I'm just
Thank
trying
you for
to
your
start,
time, and that's it.
I'm
That's
just
all
trying
I
to
need
start doing your duty before God.
I
And these children are
understand.
being murdered, and you have a duty before God to interpose and rescue them.
Okay. Well,
And ignore the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court does not make law.
Okay.
They make opinions.
Do you
have a
understand
duty-
about the amplified devices?
What?
Do you understand about the amplified
I do.
devices? Okay.
I'm just trying to share with you your
That's all
duty
we
before
need to-
God.
Thank you.
But check out defytyrants.com. Look up the doctrine of the lesser magistrates, because you do have a duty before God to rescue these children,
You're wasting your
to
words on me.
protect
If you
them.
want to do that, that's where you're supposed to do it.
You have a duty before God to protect these children, and you're not doing that as a police officer. You have a duty to protect born children and preborn children, and you're not doing that. You're failing in your duty before God to protect these children.